One of the biggest questions about French drains is should you wrap the gravel in fabric? Let's take a look. Here is a video showing how a French drain works. Remember what a French drain is. French drain is perforated pipe surrounded by gravel. It's designed to pick up subsurface water, water that's underground, not the surface water, not water that's standing on the top, but water that's underground. The important note here is there is no fabric around that gravel. Can you see the flow? That water is clean. There is no debris coming through that rock. That water is clean. But let's take a look at some first-hand users and see their experience with fabric.
Which are, I guess this is the problem area. There's the gutters there,
Yeah.
and there's two catch basins.
So that does that downspout? Does that downspout run through that system?
Yes.
Okay.
It runs into the catch basin and then out a solid pipe.
Okay, so the French drain is separate. It's a whole separate system?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
And then this is the area that has the fabric that I dug up.
Yeah, I can see all the mud. It's not going anywhere.
And next to it, there's a footprint that's been there since yesterday. So you can see like this soil just doesn't let water drain through it.
Right. Okay. I'm really curious. How many of you have done this, have had somebody install it, or maybe you installed it yourself? I mean, there's the footprint he was talking about, and it's just holding water. That water is going nowhere. Here's where he dug up the fabric, and you can see the water is just sitting right on top of the fabric. I'm really curious. How many people out there have done this or paid somebody to do it, and the very first rainfall, this is the result? Okay, why is that fabric holding water? That's a good question. You know, fabric slows down the flow of water, and you're going to see why here in just a few moments. This is later on in the chat, and the Wi-Fi signal is pretty bad, but he's showing the same things. Here's that close-up of where he dug up the fabric. That water is going nowhere. It sits right on the top. Why is that? I think it's pretty obvious that the clay packed into the fiber of the fabric and stopped the water flow, not only from the top, but from the bottom and the sides. The fabric slows down that water dramatically. My heart really goes out to all those homeowners that have done this or paid someone to do it, and this is the result. Fabric slows down the flow of water, and it's a fact. And it's really just a crime that there's so much misinformation out here on YouTube. He paid to have this installed, and when he called the company back, they agreed to come back out and solve the problem. And what they said was, well, we watched some videos about burrito wrapping this, and no gravel on the bottom, and this is how we're supposed to install it. But look at what happens. That great debate about fabric. If you just watch and learn, you can really see what is needed to make a French drain work. It's not fabric. That has nothing to do with your French drain. It's gravel. And the more gravel, the better. Can you see that water flowing through there? It's tremendous flow rate. The water is clean and there is no fabric. I hear people talk about mud packing the voids of the gravel. Look at the mud that packs in the fibers of the fabric. This is the next day after it rained, and this is the result. This homeowner is lucky because the company is going to come back and correct the problem. But that has to be dug up, fabric removed, add catch basins, and reinstalled in order for that system to work. Remember, this is from Live Help. These are customers from around the country, around the world, that are calling and asking for help because they've installed fabric, and look what happens. How do they fix it? They want to know, how do we fix this? In this consult, you can kind of see he's asking, how do I fix this problem? You can see all the water laying alongside of the fabric, but it's really not getting into the gravel. Can you see that? The gravel's still not even wet. Why is that? It's obvious. The fabric does not allow the water to come through to get into your system. I can't stress it enough. Catch basins, they solve this problem. Fabric, if you're going to use fabric, great. But I strongly suggest in the clay soil, that you avoid using fabric. You can see it does drip through there, but it's very slow. And the result is going to be the same thing when it rains hard. It's going to flood. That water is going to stand there for hours, days, without a catch basin. The catch basin collects the surface water, and the French drain collects the underground water. This next clip comes with a warning. It may not be suitable for all viewers. A few people like to watch this guy's channel, and this is a person that bought the fabric from him, and here's his story.
Well, I got over 300 feet of that 348 feet of Mr. Drain Man's pipe and the burrito wrap and everything out of the ground, and what a chore, but at least I get to save the rock this time. Another guy that had the basement there, I mean, my old French drain was over 25 years old before the roots grew in and all that. But I do want to say that it cracks me up because sometimes a YouTube video, when you watch one, it keeps playing other ones. And some people say that you got to wrap the pipe because stuff won't go through it. And then he has a video just recently saying that, oh, if stuff gets in there, it'll come out. This is over 6 to 10 inches deep in less than a year. I don't know if you can see the roots from the grass, but I mean, that's less than a year, and that's 6 to 10 inches under grade for all the grass to grow through. And I spent probably triple the money on that yellow pipe. And of course, I paid probably $400, $500 worth of that stupid fabric. Any fabric back down 25 years ago, I never put fabric down, and it worked great. I mean, if roots are going to grow through, they're going to grow through. But if I had to do it all over again, and I'd tell everybody, do not. Because when I pulled it out of the ground, it was amazing. Because what I did is I wrapped straps around it and lifted it up with the tractor.
Oh, good idea.
Percolated. Within 5 minutes, I had 7 inches of water in the ditch.
Yeah.
So that fabric was holding back all that water. I mean, for the last year, I've had a pond in my backyard. I used your idea with the catch basins, and that area of my yard is dry. My yard that used to be dry, since this stupid fabric thing, I mean, it was a pond back there. And I was amazed that once I lifted up that burrito, whatever you want to call it, the water just flowed through. It filled up that trench so fast. I can't believe that fabric holds back that much water.
It really does. And, you know, the fabric thing, I disagree with. I mean, I totally disagree with, just as you found out. You know, I dig up systems and replace them too.
You know, I'm not here to, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all, you know. But I'm so mad because I paid someone to stop in Michigan to buy all that pipe, buy all that fabric, because I thought it was a great thing. Yeah. And it's caused me nothing but aggravation since I put it in the ground. I mean, I am using the pipe again, you know. I mean, yeah, granted, maybe those extra holes will let more water go. And where I've re-put it in the ground, I mean, it's working great without the fabric there. Lesson learned. My original French drain was, 350 feet of that PVC pipe with the holes, drilled in the bottom. That's all we had back then. And I don't know. I don't want to keep saying don't use that fabric, but I am so aggravated. I mean, I think it was more work trying to take that burrito out of the ground than digging the trench to begin with, because I was trying to save all the rock so I wouldn't have to buy rock again. Yeah.
That is interesting, but I'm glad that you shared the story because
I wanted to share it with everybody so they, I don't want to see anybody else waste time. I mean, I've watched recent videos on YouTube where some people just did it, and it's like you're just going to dig it back up again. I mean, maybe some of his drains work, I don't know, but it sure doesn't work in my backyard. I mean, I have mostly ledge and loam, because there used to be cattle that used to be here, 100 years ago. So, I mean, I have a good 3 feet of loam,
Got good fall.
not sand. Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely doesn't work.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, stay in there, Dave. I'll talk to you here in a little bit more again. Somebody else got a question. So if you're going to use Geo Fabric, make sure that you add an inline catch basin. This does not fill up with debris. It does not put anything down through the pipe, but it does save the pipe from ever getting clogged. I know there's a lot of viewers that disagree with the fabric or the not fabric, a very controversial subject. But in my experience, 30 plus years in Clay and Charlotte, in Ohio, we do not wrap the gravel with fabric. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I would love to read your comments. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.